None of those nasty new bungalows then. The hedgerows bright with cow parsley. Gypsy, she always called it, because her mother had told her that if she picked it, the gypsies would take her. And her garden full of roses, chrysanthemums, clematis, and lupins. Arnold had stood there, ready to go, his buttons reflecting the sunlight in dancing sparks on the whitewashed walls. He leaned against the doorway, that very same doorway with his kit bag, that lopsided grin on his face. Such a young face, one that had never even seen a razor. And off he marched, erect, graceful, to the station. He never came back. Like so many others, he was destined to lie in a foreign grave. Alice knew this. She knew that he was dead. But hadn't she also been waiting for him all these years? Wasn't that why she had never married, even when that handsome shopkeeper, Jack Wormold, had proposed? Down on his knees he was, by the falls at Rawley Force. Got his knees wet too, and that didn't half vex him. But she said no. Kept the house on after her parents died, changed things as little as possible. There had been another war too, she vaguely remembered. Ration books, urgent voices and martial anthems on the radio, faraway rumblings that could have been bombs. Arnold hadn't come back from that war either, though she could imagine him fighting in it like a Greek god, lithe and strong, with a stern face, a face that had never seen a razor. Other wars followed, or so Alice had heard, distant ones, little wars, and he had fought in them all, an eternal soldier. She knew deep down that he would never come home, but she couldn't lose hope. Without hope, there would be nothing left. "Where on earth did I put it?" she muttered to herself, down on her knees rummaging through the cupboard under the sink. "It must be somewhere. I'd forget my head if it was loose." Then she heard someone running outside. Her eyes were not as good as they used to be, but she was proud of her hearing, and often ticked off the shop girls and bus conductors who assumed that they had to shout to make her hear them. After the sound of running came a gentle knock at her door. Puzzled, she stood up slowly, grasped the draining board to keep her balance, and shuffled through to the living room. There was always a chance. She had to hope, and so she opened the door. Part 3. Perverts, the lot of them. Detective Chief Inspector Alan Banks said, adjusting the treble on the stereo. "Including me?" asked Sandra. "For all I know." "Since when has making artistic representations of the naked human form been a mark of perversion?" "Since half of them don't even have films in their cameras." "But I always have film in my camera." "Yes," Banks said enthusiastically. "I've seen the results. Where on earth do you find those girls?" "They're mostly students from the art college." "Anyway," Banks went on, returning to his scotch, "I'm damn sure Jack Tatum doesn't have film in his camera. And Fred Barton wouldn't know a wide-angle lens from a putting iron. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they imagined you posing, a nice willowy blonde." Sandra laughed. "Me? Nonsense. And stop playing the yahoo, Alan. It doesn't suit you. You don't have a leg to stand on, acting the idiot over photography while you're inflicting this bloody opera on me. For someone who appreciates artistic representations of the naked human form, you're a proper Philistine when it comes to music, you know." "Music I can take. It's all this screeching gives me a headache." "Screeching? Good Lord, woman. It's the sound of the human spirit soaring. Visitate, visitamor." Banks's soprano imitation made up in volume what it lacked in melody. "Oh, put a sock in it," Sandra sighed, reaching for her